I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? Okay, so we have a wonderful show for you today. I mean, this is, how would I say, the cream de la cream. JC is on the line. What is up, my brother? How you doing?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And it's such a pleasure to have you. So, okay, tell everybody who you are and what you do, please.
My artist name is JCT. I'm a recording artist, producer, singer-songwriter based out of just outside of Toronto, Ontario, here in Canada. I produce all kinds of music. I do video productions. I'm an entrepreneur. I founded my own record label, Theseus Music Group, which is a division of my entertainment company, Theseus Entertainment. And just passionate about music and the arts.
Sweetness. Okay, so how did you get started? I mean, because that's a lot. That's a lot. That's just more than what I want to handle. So how did you know you wanted to do all of that?
Well, I mean, I got to take you back to when I was a kid, probably about 9 years old. My grandfather actually got me started. My family back home in Portugal, they do festivals every year. And I went there one year, and long story short, I saw a kid with an accordion, and I thought it was pretty cool. So my grandfather got me one, and I got really good at it. You know, music just came naturally to me. My mother's a singer. My father's a singer. I got a lot of people in my family who are in the arts. So it just came naturally to me. And I took off. I started doing performances, throughout Ontario, throughout my teens. And I went back home a couple times to do some shows there and some performances down in the U.S. Music's always kind of just been there for me. You know what I mean?
I do. I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean. Okay, so like, did you go to school for it? Because a lot of people have taken it to the next level. They've gotten their certifications, their bachelor's degree, whatever. I mean, how did you prepare yourself to be all of these things? Because like I said, that is a lot. I mean, okay, so you're an artist and everything, but I see a board behind you, which means that you know how to work that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I did go to school when I was a kid. When I got started when I was 9 years old, I guess my parents realized I had a knack for it. So they put me in school. I was in school for about 3 years, just kind of learning about theory and music composition, and just trying to, further my craft when I was a kid. I did it for about 3 years. I got really good at it, and then I just stopped going to school, and then everything else just kind of came naturally. And then I did music till I was around, probably I want to say 19, 20 years old. And then I took a break. I took some time off, probably about 10 years or so. And during those 10 years, I pursued my other passions, my other passion, which is business. And, through that, I learned a lot about, corporations and taxes and accounting and, bookkeeping and promotions and all that stuff. And while I was, doing the business thing, I was kind of messing around on the production side, but more so for myself. I did do some work on the corporate side, some corporate productions, but it was nothing similar to what I'm doing right now. And then about 5 years ago, I ran into an old friend in the music business, and he simply asked me, he's like, "Hey, how's the music going?" And here we are, we're back.
Okay, so I have to ask you, and this is like the burning question. How important is it to know the business of music and be in the music business?
That's a very good question, because as passionate as I am about music, I won't drop music for the sake of just dropping music. This is a business. It's a business first and foremost. It costs a lot of money to do this. It's not cheap. I approach it like I approach any other businesses that I'm involved in. There has to be a strategy. There has to be a game plan. And, I put a lot of focus on where we're at right now and where we're looking to go. And I'm a process guy, right? So most people are after, instant gratification, and that's good and fine and dandy. But for me, the process is more important. I need to understand, where we're at and where we're going and how we're going to get there. And I need to kind of see the puzzle in my head first before it, comes out in fruition in the real world. So, it's a business. It's tough to make money, I'm sure, as you know. We're in the digital age right now. It's a little different than back in the day with CD sales. So it is tough to make money if you're just relying on strictly, digital downloads and streaming, unless you're doing tens of millions, of streams. Uh, so you gotta kind of look at it as a business, and what else you can do to grow revenues and increase cash flows, and you can do that at a handful of ways, through licensing and partnerships and a bunch of other stuff that we could possibly talk about in a future episode. So it's a business. You just for me, I treat it like a business as much as it is my passion. Business comes first.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, licensing and all that. There's a lot of different ways of make money, but actually selling your song nowadays,
Hmm.
no.
No,
No.
you can. It's just
It's not as easy, is it?
it's not. And the thing is, it's I think music today. Some people are going to hear me say this and be like, "What's he talking about?" Making music is the easiest part. I mean, I got a studio. I can lock myself in here for a month and produce an album. That's the easy part. The hard part comes after. It's a promo game. It's a marketing game. It's a partnership game. Who are you collaborating with? Are you trying to get your music placed in movies, in video games? Like, there's 100 different ways to skin a cat. I like that expression and I hate that expression all at the same time. But it's just the reality of it all. I think you have to kind of have, an approach where you're casting a wide net. You know what I mean? I come from a fishing family. You can go fishing with a fishing rod or you can go fishing with a net. When we go fishing, we go with a net. We put a net on the ocean. We go home. We have something to eat. We come back a few hours later, and we have a lot of fish in the net. So that's kind of like my approach in the music business as well. Is I cast a big net, and I'm always looking to see how I can partner with people and how I can grow the business side of it. The music, it comes easy for me. I've been doing it for 30 years. It comes easy for me. So that's usually whenever I'm working on music. Working on a new track right now. Actually, and I've already got ideas on partnerships and potentially who we can partner with on music videos and whatnot. So it's like I said, the business side of it is important, and I try to keep that always in the forefront.
Right. Okay. So you're in Ontario, right? You're in Canada. Is
Ontario.
there Ontario? Sorry. Terrible. Anyway, but I mean, listen, is it different to be there and to be in the United States? I mean, is there any difference in the music industry?
There is and there isn't, right? There is, because every market is different. Every market is unique. What may necessarily work in one market, might not work in another market. So that's maybe where it's a little different. But technology obviously has changed the game in the sense that you can reach people far away in a hurry that you couldn't do 10, 15, 20 years ago. And if we want to talk about the differences, and I don't know if this is the case there. I think you're in Florida, right? So
Yeah.
over here, when you talk to a lot of people here, there's this theory that to make it, you got to get out of Toronto, you got to get out of Ontario. Before you can make it here, you've got to make it somewhere else. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
No, I don't either.
We have a lot of creative people here in Ontario. There's a lot of artists. I think it really just comes down to, you can be the greatest artist in the world, and you can have, you can be the best singer in the world, but if you don't have the commitment, and if you don't treat it like a business, and you don't have the drive to see your plan through, at the end of the day, there's a lot of amazing artists on Spotify and iTunes who are never going to see the light of day just because they don't understand the business side of it, and B, I think maybe they go into it with some false pretenses and they think, I'm just going to make a track or two or an album and I'm going to blow up and life will be good. It doesn't work that way, right? So to answer your question, it is the same. A lot of the same things you can apply, but then I think you have to approach every market uniquely and see, again, it's all about demographics too, right? Demographics may be different in another market, than here in Ontario. So you kind of want to tailor to your audience. You know what I mean?
Right. I gotcha. So what is your dream goal? I mean, with your music, where do you want it to ultimately go?
Well, obviously, I mean, it goes without saying, if I ever had a chance to win a Grammy, I mean, that would be fantastic. Have an opportunity to be out there in Hollywood on stage and collect a Grammy. I mean, that would be fantastic. But I think for me, more than that, right now, my focus is, I'm after records. Hopefully, in the foreseeable future, we'll have some platinums. And ideally, I mean, my dream would be a diamond record. I mean, being able to sell 10 million records of anything would be awesome. In fact, I think in the history of music, there's only been maybe 100 diamond records. I think Garth Brooks has like 9 of them. So, selling 10 million records. He's done it 9 times, 9 different times. That's 90 million records he sold on just those diamond records alone. So that would be amazing to achieve diamond, but I'd be happy with platinum.
Wow, I would be happy with gold.
I'll take gold. I won't complain.
I'll take gold. Anything after that is just icing on the cake. I tell you that much. But I tell you, wow. So diamond. I mean, so that's kind of that's kind of cool though. I mean, like you said, there hasn't been that many. I know Michael Jackson did it. So
Elvis,
okay,
Elvis did a few.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Wow. So, okay. So now that I know your goal, I know everybody. I mean, I don't know anyone in the music industry that doesn't want a Grammy. So, I mean, we all want Grammys.
Pinnacle, right?
Yay. But not all of us can get Grammys, and that's okay. I mean, we have to be happy with who we are and where we are, and keep working. Like you said, you have to know the business and everything behind it. But I see that you actually are doing other things as well. Are you like looking at the big screen, like the movies and the TVs and stuff? I mean, I heard a little rumor. What's going on with that?
Well, I mean, I can't say much, but I've got some friends down in the U.S. A friend of mine in particular who's a movie producer. We've been kind of going back and forth with some ideas, discussing some potential motion pictures. So we'll see what happens with that. If I do get involved, I think I'd like to try my hand to probably more so on the production side. But I wouldn't rule out possibly playing a small role on screen.
But I mean, everybody is like diversifying. I mean, you can't just sell music nowadays. You just can't be a musician. You got to do something else. And I know that you also have your own clothing line. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, I realized early on, even before I got back into the music, just, when you look at most artists who come into the business, usually, they come in, they make it in the music, and then they kind of branch off, to restaurants and clothing lines and all the other stuff. I kind of came at it from a different angle. I started doing that stuff first, and then put my focus on music. Like I said, I realized early on the importance of having merchandise, so I trademarked my JC7 brand. You guys can't really see it on camera because the thing is blocked. There you go. My JC7 brand, I trademarked that. It's available worldwide. You can order online at jc7shop.com, and depending on your location, our manufacturers will ship out what you order. So I think it's important to do merch. Again, I think it's important to do licensing and partnerships. Even when I'm working on music videos, it's been tough lately, obviously with the pandemic. But I'm always looking to partner with people for product placements and service placements and all that other stuff. And I've been approached by a couple of big brands to potentially do some partnerships down the road. So we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, you got to kind of branch off. I kind of look at it as music as like music is the bait. It's what brings them in. But you got to have something else to offer them to keep them in. You know what I'm saying? So with my clothing line and all the other stuff I'm doing, one kind of feeds off the other.
Right. And it is great to diversify. I need to ask you a question. You're so intelligent. You have so much going on for you, and you're doing all of it yourself. Is there any suggestion that you could give to that newcomer, that's somebody that thinks that it's just overwhelming? They don't know where to begin.
Sure. I think I want to start by saying you kind of have to come in and take the emotion out of it, and you have to think of this as a business. If you're going to come in and think that you're going to make one track and blow up and become the next Drake, I mean, good luck. It's not to say that it won't happen, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. It costs a lot of money. So you have to come in with the right mentality, I think. I think you have to be in it for the long game. And you can't get too distracted with what anybody else is doing. And everybody's got a different approach, right? So you kind of have to know, you kind of have to have an idea what you want to do with your music and where you want to go. And you got to set out a game plan. And every day, piece by piece, just tackle it a little bit, kind of like a chess piece on a board. And, I would also suggest that you got to have a little money set aside. As I said before, this does cost some money to do. It's not cheap unless you sign to a big label. But if
Yeah.
you do, we already know how that works. You know, that they're going to take a big slice of the pie for the work they do and the promo they do and everything they bring to the table. It's just the reality of the business.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. I would say, I would say that first and foremost, think of it as a business, and then, to follow that, try to learn as much as you can about music production, because the more you can do yourself, the more you can save yourself, and then all that extra money that you haven't spent on the production side, you can use on your marketing side, your promo side, music videos, all that other stuff. I mean, the bigger you get, you're gonna need a good entertainment lawyer. You're gonna need good accountants. You got to have a good team of people around you, producers, mastering specialists. I mean, I have a massive team of people that work for me under my label, both here in Ontario and throughout the world. Actually, I've got producers that work for me in South America and in Europe and even out in Asia. So, I'm constantly in touch with my team. Constantly going back and forth with ideas. I think it's important to look at what other people are doing, and see if there's anything maybe that they're doing that you can implement in your own approach, and just stick to it, man. Just stick to it, and you have to know that it's just not going to happen overnight. This is a marathon. You're in the long game if you're going to make it here.
Oh yeah, definitely. So tell me about your music, man. I mean, we talked about the music industry, we talked about everything else, and the movies and the Grammys, and now tell me about your music.
All right. So I do mostly hip hop, R&B, reggaeton. I've been working on some soft stuff that maybe we'll see what happens down the road if I drop it. Mostly lately I've been doing mostly is reggaeton. I'm trying to merge reggaeton and our Portuguese language in a way that's really never been done before. I did it already on one of my singles I released, I don't know, last year or the year before, called Minha Gente, which is available on all digital platforms and music videos on YouTube. We've done already, I don't know, 50,000 streams on Spotify, and I think almost 50,000 views on YouTube. So the response to that has been great. So that's kind of my approach right now in terms of my music. I'm just trying to merge, like I said, Portuguese with reggaeton in a unique way, and just wait on the feedback from the marketplace and see what people think of it.
Awesome. So, I mean, I know I've been flashing all of your information up on the screen. So if you guys want to visit Instagram, you want to follow whatever, all you have to do is just go back to the screen and pause. We also, I'm going to go ahead and just show all of the links now. So that way you can kind of pause on there. And if you just want to go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel, as well as follow him on Instagram, and like his page on Facebook, and follow and like on Twitter, as well as show some love on TikTok.
I'm not doing much on TikTok, but all my friends keep telling me, I got to start getting on that. It's supposed to be the next big thing.
You got to get on TikTok. You've got to get on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, then you're not discoverable. I mean, there's a lot of different people that are being, becoming big and being discovered on TikTok. So you just don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. The plan is to do it till when I get around to it. We'll see. Like I said, I'm a pretty busy guy, so I'll make some time for it.
Definitely. And I want to thank you so much, JC, for being on the show, man. Look, you got to have a shout out. You have shout outs? You got shout out? I love shout outs.
Not really. I don't have, other than my team who, I have behind the scenes. Like I said, we got a new single coming, and they've been doing a ton of work behind the scenes. We just shot the music video, so maybe give them a shout out for all hard work they've been doing, and we're preparing, and hopefully we have that ready to release in the next month. So yeah, shout out to
that's a really important shout out.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just gonna say that's really important, because without the team, it's just you, and it's very hard. It's very hard. So JC, I want to thank you so much for being on the show, man. I appreciate you so much. You guys, you can get all of his information. Just go ahead and go to jctofficial.com, and it's right there. It's on the screen right there. There it is. Thank you again so much for being on the show. I appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go after your goals. Go after your dreams. Am I right?
100%.
100%, guys. Until next time, don't forget to what? Dare to be different.
Thanks for having me, Yaya.
I dare to be different. 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 I dare.